We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Yesterday we heard there is a fruit of hearing. Yesterday we heard the subject of the departure of the sons of Pandu for the ultimate goal of life, back to Godhead, is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. Just by hearing about Krishna and his devotees' pastimes with faith, devotional faith, that is one kind of service to Krishna. It will increase devotion, he will be satisfied. So, Mahaprabhu told one of the forms of devotion is Bhagavat Shravan, to hear Bhagavatam. Next chapter, 16. How Parikshit received the age of Kali. Suta Uvach. Tatah Parikshit Dvija Varja Shikshaya Mahim Mahabhagavata Shashasa Ha Yata Hi Sutyam Abhijata Kovida Samadhishan Vipra Mahad Gunas Tata. Suta Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas, Maharaj Parikshit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instructions of the best of the twice born Brahmanas. It should be like this. Kshatriyas, they should rule under the guidance of Brahmins. Then it will be proper. Otherwise, it will be with greed and fighting with others and for wrong reasons and like this. Brahmins, they know how it should be. But in Kali Yuga, Shudras, they become rulers. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by expert astrologers at the time of his birth. If someone is expert astrologer, then he can properly see. If he is not so in knowledge, then he may speculate something. But otherwise, you will, by that science of astrology, one can see the karma of that person based on his birth time and positioning then of all planets and like this. So it can be seen. But that can also be changed if someone does devotion to Supreme Lord. Otherwise, prarabdha karma cannot be changed. No one can change. Sa uttarasya tanayam upayema iravatim jana me jaya dim chaturas tasyam utpadayat sutan. King Parikshit married the daughter of King Uttara and begot 4 sons, headed by Maharaj Janmejaya. In Bengal, Janmejaya. Aja Harashva Medham Strin Gangayam Bhuri Dakshinan Sharadvatam Gurum Kritva Deva Yatrakshi Gochara. Maharaj Parikshit, after having selected Kripa Acharya for guidance as his spiritual master, performed 3 horse sacrifices on the banks of the Ganges. These were executed with sufficient rewards for the attendants. And at these sacrifices, even the common man could see demigods. I remember it now in between. There is aprarabdha karma and prarabdha karma. Aprarabdha means you did some activities and you should get certain fruit but that is still waiting. It is like a seed. It did not sprout. You are not tasting that fruit. That is aprarabdha. But prarabdha means that which has already started bearing fruit or is bearing fruit now. So prarabdha karma means this our body. So by astrology, according to date and all that timing, they can see what is the prarabdha karma of this person. So this prarabdha karma you cannot change. Only with Gyan you can remove aprarabdha karma, but you cannot remove prarabdha karma. But with devotion to Supreme Lord also you can remove prarabdha karma. Because we are in karma due to being averse to Krishna. We are not serving Krishna. But if one changes this, he will give up false ego and material actions, and he will do spiritual, means devotion to Krishna. Then there is no more need for him to get those fruits of prarabdha karma. But of course, according to the degree of surrender, that is destroyed only by devotion. And like, for example, if I had 75 years of prarabdha karma to stay in this body, and if I commit suicide at the age of 50, like someone will say, he did suicide, so how prarabdha? The point is that those remaining 25 years, which he would have to be in this body, he will have to stay in ghost body, in subtle body. Still all his desires and sufferings and everything will be there, but without gross body. Suffering will be something more, because that ghost cannot fulfill his desires. He has, but cannot. You want to drink, but you cannot. That is why ghosts, they like to enter into some another gross body, those who are weak, to enjoy through that body. So it happened if suicide, or sometimes due to some violent thing, like we heard that history about Atmadev, and then he had two sons. One was real son, another was fake. Atmadev, you remember, he wanted to have a child at any cost, but could not get, and his wife was just the opposite. She did not want to have a child because she knew there is so much suffering when carrying him in the womb, then when giving birth, and then raising him, all the time trouble, so she did not want. So Atmadev did not get son, and he became so unhappy, he wanted to commit suicide and went to forest to commit suicide, but fortunately he met one sadhu there, and that sadhu said, why you are so depressed? Then that Atmadev said, because I want a son, but I cannot get a son. So my life is useless, I will give up my life. Then that sadhu, he was meditating, no astrological calculation. That is one thing, it is correct. But some have this ability to get by meditation that vision. So he saw in your karma there is no child. Not only this birth, 7 births, you cannot have child. It is not in your karma. So better you should give up this desire and you worship God. You remember the story of Chitraketu Maharaj? He also forcefully wanted to have a child and he got it, then he had to suffer. And then he had to realize about these non-eternal relations and eternal relation with Krishna. So he got, so you remember that from Bhagavatam, it is there. So you give up this desire and you worship Supreme Lord. This human birth is not meant for making children, it is meant for worship of Supreme Lord. So you worship Supreme Lord and give up and be peaceful. Why you are so disturbed? And it is not in your karma. You should accept the will of Krishna. He is giving the fruits. So it is not there. But still Atmadev would pressure him. Then that sadhu said, okay, you will have a child. I'm giving you one fruit. You give it to your wife. She will have a child. Good child. Then he came home and his wife was against having a child. So Atmadev was very happy. I got blessing from sadhu, you will have a child, you just eat this fruit. Then that wife said to, okay, later I will take. Then her sister was pregnant at that time. And they were very poor, husband and her sister. And they were worried how we will take care of this child. So this wife of Atmadev, she said to her sister, I have one idea. You give me your child and I will give you money. I have enough money. So you just give me that child. I will fake that I'm pregnant and then I will bring your child and it will seem like he's his son. And I will give you money. That husband agreed. So this wife, her name was Dunduli. Dunduli and Atmadev, husband and wife. She faked that she's pregnant with some cloth here, and then the child was brought, and Atmadev thought he's my child. And that fruit, Dunduli, she said, okay, let me see if words of sadhu really, there is something behind those words. So that fruit she threw to one cow, their cow. So from that cow, she ate that fruit, and from that cow, one child was also born, human child, but with ears like cow. So, yes, and before I forgot to say, Atmadev said to that sadhu in the forest, even my cow is not having any calf. I'm so unfortunate, my life is so useless. I did something wrong in past lives, my bad karma, the cow is not, so now his wife got child and cow also. So he was very happy to have. So one was fake, one was real, according to blessing of sadhu. That child who was according to blessing of sadhu was very good character, fully ideal character and devotionally minded and respectful to parents and everything ideal. But this child, fake one, was very bad character. So his name was also Dundukari, one who does all bad activities. He was very bad. He used to disturb his parents and did not want to work and did all criminal activities. And later on he also stole the money and was killing others and taking money from parents and like this. So Atmadev became very much disturbed because of this son. So he said, better I should not have that desire. I should not have had that desire to have a son, only trouble is there. So then he finally decided, yes, I will not do this. I will worship Supreme Lord. So he went to forest and he took with him Bhagavatam, SRIMAD Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, and was studying, and he gave up his life and went back home, back to Godhead. Wife also, somehow she died, I don't remember, maybe due to, yes, emotional disturbance because of that son. So why I'm telling, because ultimately those prostitutes which this Dundukari was paying to them and robbing and everything, so ultimately those prostitutes, they made a plot. Now he's young, he has money, so what will happen in future we don't know. So better we kill him now and take all the money, and it's okay. So they killed him. 5 prostitutes, they tied him and killed him. And because he was so sinful, when Gokarna, his brother, when he came to know about the death of his brother, he went to Gaya, and he did Shraddha in all those places, in many places, for his brother. According to Brahmin's prescription, he did everything because ideal character, he was compassionate. Then after, when he came back home, that ghost came. One ghost came. Then Gokarna, he asked him, who are you? Then he said, I'm your brother. I was violently killed by prostitutes, and because I'm so sinful, I became a ghost. You please liberate me. Then he said, I already did all kind of shraddhas for you. He said, yes, but I'm so sinful that it was not working. I could not be liberated. Then Gokarna went to Brahmins and he asked them, is there anything more we can do except this Shraddha ceremony? Then they said, no, this is the ultimate. We don't know anything more. But we are worshipping Sun God. So you take shelter of him, maybe he knows. Then Gokarna was praying to Sun God, what I have to do to rescue my brother. How he can be rescued from this karma. Then Sun God said, he has to hear SRIMAD Bhagavatam for 7 days. Then Gokarna arranged Bhagavat Saptaha, 7 days hearing of Bhagavatam. And you know that ghost took shelter of bamboo tree, stick there, and was staying in the lower portion. Then on first day hearing of Bhagavatam, that knot in between burst and he went 1 stage up. And second day 1 stage up, and like this. On 7th day after completed Bhagavatam, then he that burst, and from Vaikuntha chariot came to take him to Vaikuntha, back home, back to Godhead. So even ghost body or very high prarabdha karma, it can be also changed by devotion. That is possible to change. Here it is shown the glory of hearing Bhagavatam, and to make it more clear, the other audience who were hearing, they said, why only he was liberated, why we were not? Then the Gokarna asked the Vishnu Dutas, why? They said, because your brother, he was very attentively hearing Bhagavatam with devotional faith, and after Harikatha, he used to think what he heard. He was thinking, today this was spoken, then this, he was thinking about that. But they did not attentively hear nor think what they heard. That is why our Gurudev told, you have to speak Harikatha. Why? Because then you will have to hear very attentively, otherwise what you will speak? If you speak, it means you should hear before. So then they said, okay, we didn't know this, so now can you do it again? You speak Bhagavatam, we will hear now attentively. Then Gokal said, yes, okay, I will speak again. He spoke and they were hearing attentively and thinking what they heard. Then they were also liberated. So prarabdha karma can be changed only by devotion, not by any other thing. By devotional practice, because that is rectifying our this action. We want to enjoy this world. That is not good, that is karma. But devotion is transcendental devotion. So when we change this, then there is no reaction necessary anymore, because you already got a lesson. And it is happening. I know one example myself, that one husband and wife, the wife was cheating husband with another man. And they were planning, they will stay together, but that man was a bit in some situation, could not immediately. So he also pressed her that I will I will make a child. So, but for first part, your husband will take care of him, because now I'm in this situation. So because that lady was attached to him, so she agreed. She became pregnant. Immediately when she became pregnant, she was with her husband more to ask that he conceived that, but it was fake. Then that husband thought, this is my son, but he was not. It is a fact, I know. So sometimes like this it happens in this world. Then, and another one case also I know, that man, he came to know when he was like maybe 50 years or something, he came to know that his father, which he thought his father, was not actually his biological father. Mother never told him. By checking that DNA, then it was known. So it is happening, many things happening. But by devotion, we can destroy even that prarabdha karma. By any form of devotion, not only Bhagavatam, any kind of devotion, service to Krishna, that will remove that thing. So like that, it is stated in Taittiriya Upanishad. Our Gurudev used to say many times, Jato vai mani bhutani jayante, jeno jatani jivanti, jat prajanti abhisham vishanti, tat vijaya sasva, tat eva brahma. From whom all living entities are coming out, by whom they are maintained, and by whom, into whom they will enter. So Gurudev told, horse begets horse. Dog begets dog. Cow begets cow. Naturally, Gurudev said, I'm not speaking about crossbreeding, but natural, this is like this. So we are not this material body. We are Chetan. We are conscious principle, Atma. Those Atmas, Jivas, they're coming from Paramatma, from Supreme. Because he is conscious being, so we are conscious. Because consciousness begets consciousness. Like horse begets horse. So we are coming from Brahma. We are Brahma Bhuta. We are from him in reality. Krishna also says, I am the seed-giving father. In Bhagavad Gita, he is telling. Because jivas, they are from him, that marginal potency, and that marginal potency is Chetan, means conscious. This matter is not conscious. And matter is not a person. Person is Atma. When Atma is in the body, then that he is considered as a person. When Atma lives, then that is not person anymore. So Gurudev said, the horse begets horse, and Chetan begets Chetan. Conscious being begets conscious being. So we are from him. But because we are averse to Krishna, we are now misidentified with this body, and we are thinking I am this body and I am produced, I am born from that person, from this person. But even in this case, sometimes it may be fake, like in this case, fake. Then by DNA, you can know, by DNA testing. But if you go more deep, if we go to test our DNA, in brackets, DNA, we will come to know that actually Krishna is our source. We have eternal relation with him, but we have forgotten him. Becoming averse, we are totally in forgetfulness of him, who is our real source. We are from him, we are related to him eternally. That is eternally existing, but it may be covered, that relationship, when we are in Maya. So we have to check our DNA, who is our real source. Then we will come to know that he is our, and we have forgotten him. When we re-establish that relationship with him, then there is no more problem. That is reality, and there is no more problem. But when we are averse to him, then all sorts of problem. But immediately when certain jiva, maybe he has very good karma, he will get a lot of material enjoyment. Or maybe he has very bad karma, he will get a lot of material suffering. Both are false, because in reality we are eternal servants of Krishna. So when we rectify our false ego and stop doing material activities or karma, but we do devotion to our real eternal master source, to whom we actually belong. Our DNA is matching with his DNA. Brahma means Supreme Lord, conscious being, begot us as a conscious being. We are matching with his DNA. not this worldly. He's our real source. So when we realize this, our relation with him, and we start serving him, then all karma is automatically destroyed. Bad karma and good karma also is destroyed, because that is unnatural for us. That is both in illusion, in forgetfulness of reality. So this we have to realize how, by coming in contact with a realized soul, pure devotee. He will awaken us. He will reveal to us to whom we actually really we belong. Like doctor will say, no, he is not your father, biological, because your DNA does not match. Like that, Gurudev will say, you are not of this world. You belong to Krishna. Your real self, who you are, belongs to Krishna. You are his. You should serve him. Then, when we serve him, all karma is automatically destroyed. So we see here in the case of Dundukari, so bad activities and so much suffering he was to get. But by devotion, by hearing Bhagavatam with devotion, that was removed. We will see also here in the case of Parikshit Maharaj, is all good karma. He's a king and all opulence and everything good karma, everything all good karma. But he will also remove everything and will realize that his actual eternal relation. So that will remove all problems. So he was doing, Maharaj Parikshit was the ruler of whole world. So what kind of good karma is having? A ruler of whole world. And he's having a wife, he's having children for, and all things. And doing horse sacrifices on the banks of Ganges. These were executed with sufficient rewards for the attendants. All Brahmins, priests, everything, he was giving donation proper. And at these sacrifices, even the common man could see demigods. It was so evident, so powerful, these sacrifices, that common men, they could see demigods coming. They are getting those offering. There is that Varna ashram sacrifices, demigods are worshipped, but you also have Vaishnava Homa. Vaishnava sacrifices, they will offer to Supreme Lord and to Mahajanas, means pure devotees, 12 Mahajanas, that is done. So, Nija Grahau Jasavira Kalim Digvijaya Kvachit Nripa Linga Dharma Shudram Gnantam Go Mitunam Pada. Now we are in ignorance. I think this is like this. No. In reality, if you check DNA, we are from Supreme Lord. We belong to him, so we should serve him. And by serving him, we actually serve all. Once, when Maharaj Parikshit was on his way to conquer the world, he saw the master of Kali Yuga, who was lower than a Shudra, disguised as a king and hurting the legs of a cow and bull. The king at once caught hold of him to deal sufficient punishment. It is a duty of a king to protect other innocent citizens from thieves and criminals and like this. It is his duty. So to beat or to hurt cow and bull is also crime. Not only to humans, because cow is used in religious practices. For ghee is made and milk is offered, and the bull also is helping. So it is also crime because they are dharma. So this one, Kali Maharaj, he was lower than Shudra. That is why he was hurting them. But nowadays, you will find the kings or the leaders or these leaders, they are lower than Shudra, and they are not only hurting animals. They are hurting human beings also for their own selfish purpose. Doing. But Parikshit Maharaj was not like that. He knew this is wrong and I have to rectify this situation. Shaunaka Uvach. Kasya Hetor Nija Graha Kalim Digvijayan Ripa Nrideva Chinna Drikshudra Kosogam Yah Padahanat Tat Katyatam Mahabhago Yadi Krishna Katashrayam. Shaunaka Rishi inquired, why did Maharaj Parikshit simply punish him? Since he was the lowest of the Shudras, having dressed as a king and having struck a cow with his leg, please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. So dressed as a king, he is not really king. King means he will take care of the citizens and protect them from wrongdoers, and he will encourage them to follow religious ways. That is king. But demons, they dress as king so that they cheat people. They look like they're well-wisher, but they are not. They are exploiting for their own selfish. So that is wrong. I remember it now when I first saw Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj in Slovenia in 1999 summer. I was very new. I knew about Krishna consciousness before, but I did not have so much knowledge at that time of Shastra and this. I read Gita and this some Krishna Lila, but not Bhagavatam from beginning. So when Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj was giving Harinam initiations to some devotees here, so suddenly, I don't know how it happened, that I was to translate his English to Slovenian language so that they can understand. They could not understand so clearly English. So, okay, that was the first time. And I was new. So that time, Puri Maharaj started to speak this topic when giving initiation. Because here you will see it as a proof. Shaunaka Rishi, he said, you please tell us if it is in relation to topics of Krishna. So he's speaking, it means it is related. Because you will find some so-called gurus, they will not speak about this for regulative principles. They will avoid. Why? Because then they will not be interested to take initiation, to become disciples, so no money will come, no name and fame like this. So they will not speak about this topic. But Parikshit Maharaj means here Shaunaka said it is related or not. Then Sutta Goswami said yes, it is related. So I remember Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj started to speak this topic to them at the time of initiation. Why? Because he has to explain to them that those who have faith in Krishna, they can take Harinam, and they should follow those activities which are for the satisfaction of Krishna, and those activities which are displeasing to Krishna, they should give up. So this is you have to know and you have to follow this. Otherwise, how you will satisfy Krishna? So Puri Maharaj started to speak. You will find this. There is recording. Srila purimaharaja.org, Ljubljana Initiations. There he is explaining. I'm not saying false. The recording is there. You can hear my voice also. I'm translating there. So I was translating, but I did not know this topic so well about this Kali Maharaj. I knew 4 regulative principles, but not this story here. So sometimes I was little thinking and not properly, not very properly translating. Puri Maharaj noticed. He said, no, you should properly translate this topic. It is very important. You can hear yourself in recording. He said, you translate this. It is very important. So I remembered, so I also have to be very attentive now, because he made me understand it is very important. And that I should convey in a proper way. It should not be like little hazy and maybe and like this. No, it's very important. So Kali Maharaj was beating cow and bull. Attavasya padam bhoja makaranda likham satam kim anyer asat alapeir ayusho yat asad vyayah. The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking up the honey available from the lotus feet of the Lord. What is the use of topics which simply waste one's valuable life? Topics which are not related to the service of Krishna. That is waste of time. This human birth, we got this chance to liberate ourselves from Maya and to attain our real life. Like, for example, yes, now I remembered. It is also a fact. During war, Japanese and that Burma, India, something was happening. So from what is that? Maybe Manipur or something. Some people, they were running to India more inside because being afraid of that army of Japanese. I heard from Gurudev, but not all details. Now I remember. But the point is, one couple, they had one newborn child. So it was too much that they could take him with them when they were running to India as refugees. So they, on the way, they kept it in one village, hoping that someone will find him. Means in some front of house they give. So they then went to India. And another couple, they found that child and they took him and they took care of him. So that child thought, they are my parents. But according to DNA, they were not. But they were taking care of him. So when he grew up, maybe at the age of 18 or something, they told him, actually, you are not from this place. You are actually, your parents are Indian. They left. So like this. So when he got that information, immediately he got a desire, I want to find my parents. Before he was thinking, these are my parents. And he was behaving accordingly. But now suddenly that changed. Then he went to India, and by God's will, by providence, somehow he was in Madras, Chennai, and he was in one dharamshala, which was owned by his actual biological father, but there was one manager there in that dharamshala. So this boy was very poor, had no money, so that he requested that manager, at least you give me on veranda, I can sleep. So he said, okay, you have no money, you can sleep. But due to some impure condition, he developed, I think, cholera or something. He had no money to treat, and that is contagious. So that manager told him, you have to go out, and even his biological father came to throw him out, and he was behaving very harsh with him. Why you came here? Who? Like very harshly he was. It is a fact. Very harshly. Then that boy started to cry. My life is so unfortunate. I was born, and my parents, they left me in some other house. And now I came to India to find my parents. And he told the place, exact place from where he came. And I came to India to find my parents. I became sick. I have no money. I will die. My life is so unfortunate. Then when his real biological father, he heard about that exact village, and that this child was left there. Then he called his wife, and wife also, somehow by the science on the body of child, she confirmed, yes, really he is our child. It was confirmed. Then this father, who was behaving very harshly, immediately changed, because he came to know he's my son. Immediately changed, and immediately took him to that hospital for treatment and gave him food, cloth, everything like that. Immediately changed. Why? Because of knowledge of relation. Like that, when we realize that we actually belong to Krishna, we forgot him, then everything will change. Real life will begin. So, by the grace of pure devotee, but we have to follow his instructions. So Puri Maharaj told that this topic is very important. So devotees, they are licking up the honey from the lotus feet of the Lord. They're accustomed. They're getting the transcendental bliss. What is the use of topics which simply waste one's valuable life? Other topics which are not related to Krishna seem good to us when we are in Maya. But when we come to know, I actually belong to Krishna, then everything will change. Then you will not be interested in other things automatically. So this knowledge of relation with Krishna is the most valuable thing one can get and one should get in this human life. For this reason we got it, by the grace of Krishna. So we can get it by sadhu sangha and shastra sangha, and by following, then everything will change in our life to the better. It will change to the better. Yes, to the better. My English is not so good. Kshudra yusham nrinam anga martyanam ritam ichatam iho pahuto bhagavan mrityu shamitra karmani. O Sutta Goswami, there are those amongst men who desire freedom from death and get eternal life. They escape the slaughtering process by calling the controller of death Yamaraj. Na kaschin mriyate tavat yavat asta ihantaka etat artam hi bhagavan ahutah paramar shibi aho nriloke pieta hari lilamrita bachah. As long as Yamaraj, who causes everyone's death, is instrumental, it is due to our karma, but he's instrument. As long as Yamaraj, who causes everyone's death, is present here, no one shall meet with death. The great sages have invited the controller of death, Yamaraj, who is the representative of the Lord. Living beings who are under his grip should take advantage by hearing the deathless nectar in the form of this narration of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. So they invited Yamaraj, so no one will die. They can escape. They invited him, and he's the representative of the Lord. Actually, Krishna is giving all the fruits. He's giver of all fruits. When someone will be born, when someone will die, he's giving the fruits. Yamaraj is instrumental. So he is here as a representative of the Lord. He's in his job. Yamaraj is pure devotee of Krishna, one of the 12 Mahajanas. You have to worship him. When you are doing that Vaishnava Yagya, you have to worship Yamaraj as a pure devotee. You have to offer to him. So he is a representative of the Lord. So those who are under the grip, means we are in the grip of our prarabdha karma, we should take this advantage of hearing deathless nectar, amrita, harikatamrita. Here this word is used. No, hari lilamrita. Hari lilamrita means nectar of pastimes of Hari. Or in some other place it is harikatamrita. Like this. Hari lilamrita. This we have to hear. Then we can be rescued from this prarabdha karma and Yamaraj and all these things, and get eternal life, real life in real relation with Krishna and with all jivas, real eternal relation. Our DNA is matching with him. Chetan, Nitya Nityanam, Chaitanya Chaitanam. We are not of matter, we are of consciousness, we are conscious being. So we are coming from him. Tomorrow we will hear about our Param Gurudev and his disappearance day, and Rasikananda Dev Prabhu and Jagannadas Babaji. They are not ordinary persons. If we get a drop of their grace, then we can get this Hari Lilamrita and we can realize our eternal relation with Krishna. They will show us. Like you get that test, here also you will get proof. You are not of this world. You belong to Krishna. That is fact. They can prove it. You will get that certificate. Doctors that certificate. Another, I don't know what is the English word. When doctor will give that diagnosis and everything, that is there. It is a fact. So we'll hear about them.